well, we're in an interior. If we have a 300-foot tall monster come through, everybody's just going to be dead. So we're going to have like a bunch of smaller creatures.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Bloomberg, writing for movies in Sweden.
Great to meet you.
Right back at you. I've watched a ton of your work throughout the years, and when it comes to this show in specific, I was blown away by the episode I was allowed to see. I watched the first eight so far,
Oh,
so I'm
great.
eagerly awaiting the last two. But I wanted to go back almost 10 years when you did Godzilla, the Gareth Edwards one. And then a few years later, you did the King of Monsters as well. So I wanted to know how those movies compared to working on this TV show that really doesn't look like a TV show.
You know, it's like it's been quite an evolution. Like I started on Godzilla 2014 as an artist, and like one of the more like humble moments in my career was when I was looking at my monitor one night and I'm just like listening to some music and I'm like, oh, I'm working on creating Godzilla's heat ray for the Western legendary movie.
Yeah.
Like that's a huge piece of history of film that you're contributing to. And you have to like there's a moment where I'm like, okay, we need to take this seriously, we need to like make this feel real and like impressive. And then, King of the Monsters, I was sort of like briefly was on that one. I got to work on that Mothra birthing sequence. Helped out a friend on that one, and it was such a fun thing, and a lot of it had that like human point of view that Gareth Edwards had in his film, and it was like fun to come back to that. And so like
I
when
feel
this
like
came,
this has that too. I feel like that human point of view.
yeah, and that's a big thing that really like appealed to me about the script and the creative intent of the filmmakers is they wanted to sell things through that human point of view, and coming back to that was really exciting. And there's vast differences in how you approach an episodic versus a feature, and but a lot of like the same creative intent undergirds the whole thing.
Yeah. I'm also wondering now, doing this as a TV show, that kind of sets expectations on the audience, to kind of to lower their expectations if we go to how it's been back in the days. But I think a lot of people will be blown away how detailed these monsters actually look and feel like. I feel like I've only seen that on Game of Thrones before, those kind of dragons, and we know that they cost a lot to make. So having spent been a part of every episode of this show, what was like the most important thing for you to get right on the monsters? Since I think that's what people will really be blown away of.
Yeah, I mean, like it was a lot of it is like sort of driven by the direction and the photography and the acting and the performances, right? Like we didn't want to just have monsters that that are sort of observed from a distance. We wanted them to be in the thick of the action with our heroes, and sometimes that meant like, okay, well, we're in an interior. If we have a 300-foot tall monster come through, everybody's just going to be dead. So we're going to have like a bunch of smaller creatures come up, but we'll amplify it by making it not just like a couple, it'll be like 1,000, right? And so suddenly you still have that Godzilla size scope, but you have that with a bunch of individual smaller things. And then like getting the detail in is just a process of like, the legendary has set this really awesome template of you look at something from the natural world and then you take details that you like and then you get weird with it. And you sort of go out, do these rough sketches, and then you're like going to finish it, and then you start going back to the real world. You look at like the details of a pangolin scale and like the way that light bounces through it and the surface breaks up and all of those things. You look at how an elephant moves. You look at how you look at like what a creature stomping through the Arctic will get snow accumulated in its body and like shake off as it steps. So like that's what our creatures need to do as well. And you find ways to add detail through those kinds of vectors.
Yeah, and from what I've seen, it really works. I hope we get a bunch of more seasons of this. So thanks a lot for taking time to speak with me, and best of luck with the premiere.
Thank you so much.